feeling like Kiss 92's Big Show.
Good morning, Singapore. It's the Big Show with Glenn, Angel, and the Flying Dutchman. And every Thursday, we have a very special guest with us. He is our career strategist from Career Agility International, Mr. Adrian Choo.
Good morning, everybody. It's been a wonderful week and a short week at that, some more.
Did you miss my introduction? Every time you're on, I introduce you like that.
No, I missed you last week, man. Wow.
It's a short week for you.
Intro.
We still have work tomorrow.
You guys don't know.
Anyway, I just want to say, yesterday I was watching you guys on the Big Show TV, and I feel like...
Did we look great?
Yeah, you
Thanks.
look, all of you look great.
Okay.
Mr. Shanmugaratnam and Mrs. Shanmugaratnam looked fantastic as well. But I just want to say that I don't understand why everyone is calling them Mr. Taman, Mrs. Taman. Shouldn't it be Mr. and Mrs. Shanmugaratnam?
That's how I addressed them yesterday, but then I was told it's
But everybody else goes like Mr. Taman,
Yeah,
Mrs.
I know,
Taman.
'cause it's
Actually,
a
that is
surname,
wrong. you know.
right?
Yeah,
It's a surname.
it's almost common practice in Singapore.
Yes,
It's the
Mr.
way-
Mark.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Yeah.
Well, that's because they cannot pronounce your last name.
This is true.
They think your middle name is Van.
This is true. I mean, some people walk up to me in the street and go, "Hi, flying."
There you go.
So,
Maybe
you know.
because the majority of Singaporeans, they feel, may not know how to pronounce Shanmugaratnam.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I
It's
just
not
felt
that
like,
hard.
it should be Mr. and Mrs.
It should
Shanmugaratnam,
absolutely
right?
be.
Yeah.
Yes, it should absolutely be.
Okay,
Anyway,
anyway.
that's not
All right.
what we're talking about today. We're talking about career strategy, in particular, how to make wiser career choices.
Yeah, because as tomorrow, a lot of us are going to make a choice. So today I was thinking, how about our own career choices? How do we make the career choices? And some choices are difficult,
Yes.
and some choices are like if you're at a crossroad, then you have to start thinking about, this choice I'm going to make is going to affect the rest of my life.
So maybe we should put it to a vote, like go to all our friends and get a vote
Is
going.
being
What
a-
should we do?
Is being a priest career?
It
It is.
Yeah,
I
of course
think it
it
is.
is.
It
I
is.
guess.
Do they get paid?
I'm sure
Oh,
they
yeah.
get.
Minimally, I think they
Why?
get a-
It's not charity.
I say this
something.
because
There is a
must be some
vow
pay.
Poverty or
of
some-
poverty.
something like that. Yeah.
But then,
Praise.
then how do they live?
Allowances.
So there is allowance. That's kind of
no.
like your pay.
So like when they need something, it's bought by the church.
yeah.
And when they need to eat and live, do they live at the church? I
Yeah,
don't
they
even
live at
know.
the
They live at
church.
the church.
They
Okay.
live at the church. So
Just
yeah.
that vow of
Food.
poverty is already like, I mean, to me, I don't get
Yeah,
that.
no.
The reason why I'm saying this is because I'm not making fun of the Catholic faith because I am Catholic myself.
Yeah.
Born a Catholic.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, because growing up, right, my mom always wanted me to be a priest. I'm like,
Oh,
Mom,
thank
are you out
goodness.
of your mind?
Yeah.
I'm like, you will never get an allowance if I become a priest.
That was your pitch.
Yeah,
That was the pitch.
of course.
Not that I would not be able to get married and see women
yeah,
and
no,
all
no.
that stuff.
I mean,
We ain't gonna get an allowance, Mom. No, but when we talk about these career choices, sometimes it's pressure.
Yeah, it's pressure. Pressure from
External pressure.
external
Yeah.
pressure. People are telling you what to do. Sometimes it's internal pressure. You think that I must take this promotion, even though it's going to put me in Kazakhstan, away from everywhere else, because everyone's expecting me to do it. And there was a case, I know, this person, he got into a new job. Within 3 months, he left. And when I asked him what happened, he said, I was pressured by the headhunter.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, the headhunter made him an offer and everything and told him, this is the one you got to do. If you don't take it, do you know that your career is down in the pits already? If you don't take this, you'll never get out of your low pay and everything. And the headhunter pressured him.
Do headhunters get commission?
They do.
I was about to ask, yes.
Right.
Right,
Okay.
Yeah.
So he was just forced, coerced into it. And the headhunter even went over to his home to talk to him at night, talk to the wife and everything.
And try and
It was
pressure
a hard
them
sell.
into.
It was a hard
Wow.
sell.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
he took the job and within 3 months he was out.
So
was,
he got suckered in then. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What should we consider then when choosing a career? We'll talk about it on The Big Show TV. Here's Gwen Stefani with True Babe on Kiss 92. Okay, am I in frame? Yes, I am.
Yeah, you're there. Okay, so obviously, if a situation like that happened to anyone, what would you say to them? Do they need to go? Do they need to get a second opinion, maybe, from another headhunter or some mentor?
Yeah, I think,
or someone like yourself.
I think you don't have to go if you're at a crossroad or if you're at a career decision. Number one is don't rush. A lot of bad decisions come when they rush and you think that, I have to do this. When you rush, you get emotional. And when you're emotional, you start making decisions that aren't the best. So number one is don't rush. And talking to people also helps. In terms of when you're facing pressure to make a decision, sometimes the pressure is imaginary. You don't really need. You feel that. I had this other person I know who, very interesting. So she delivered. She had a baby, and she was working in a company that's very well known for making diapers. No disposable diapers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she wanted to quit, but in-laws were telling her, no, actually, it's not bad. No, you get free diapers from this company. You should just stay for the next 2 years.
As in baby diapers or adult diapers?
That was their incentive? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so she was pressured. She said, no. I said, that's not the point. I said, no. So I told her, then maybe if that's the case, then maybe you should pivot to a company that makes infant formula then.
Right,
just to
exactly.
convince your parents-in-law. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes the pressure it's imaginary. Sometimes it's real. Sometimes it's from people that don't even matter in your life, like the headhunter.
What do you say to pressure? Like it's internal pressure. You're doing it to yourself. If I don't take this promotion, I'm going to stagnate. They'll never think of me when it comes to promotions.
Oh, you banging table.
Yeah,
No, I'm
it's
not like my
it's
hand.
loud.
Because there are some people who do that.
And sometimes it's true. Some companies, especially in the consulting firms, if you don't get promoted every 2 or 3 years, you're considered deadwood.
Yeah.
And if I don't take this promotion, then it is stuck.
But should you, when it comes to making choices, and I think this is for all sorts of choices, life choices, career choices, relationship choices, should you let your head or your heart decide?
Sometimes it's a bit of both.
Okay.
I would say that the head, for me, I'm a thinker. So not a feeler. So I would always say, think, analyze. But sometimes some people just are emotional about it.
Yeah, I it's all thinking as well.
Head, yeah.
My middle name is Socrates, by the way. Glenn Socrates Ong.
All right, okay.
The thinker.
That's we'll call you that from now on.
Wow. We'll just call him Sock.
Thanks.
Hey, Sock. What about before making those choices? You always talk about being prepared, doing your due diligence.
Yeah, I think the best decisions are made when you are not emotional and when you have the full set of information or data, even if it's not full set, enough information to make the decision on. I know individuals who have made career decisions because they feel that, hey, it just kind of makes sense. I kind of want to do it. I want to quit my job and start a bakery because I know people tell me that my baking is great. And they realize that and it's fun to bake. But when you bake for 1 or 2 cakes, it's fun. When you have to bake
Yeah,
for 50 in a day.
My dad's like that. Every time I make him my Hokkien mee, he's like, you should open a stall. And I'm like, okay. I don't even eat
didn't
meat.
You just say
Hokkien mee, yeah.
You make Hokkien mee?
Yeah, I do.
See?
Really
Wow.
good.
Oh, wow.
How long has it taken for us to discover this?
You would love to
Would you?
taste
Yes.
your Hokkien mee.
Okay, one day I'll make it.
Right,
One day I'll make
Charlene?
it.
Right, Cheyenne?
They're all there. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Very interested.
Haven't made it for a while, but I'll try.
But what's in your... But I want like pork
Yes,
and all that
yes,
in the
pork
Hokkien
belly
mee,
and
yeah?
prawns, everything.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
yum.
all in there, nice and sticky and.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh.
I have an Australian friend who's very funny. He says Asians, Chinese especially, when you taste good food at a restaurant, you say, "Wow, just like home cooked food." But when you cook something good at home, you say, "Wow, you can open up a restaurant." It's like, understand Singaporeans.
Make up your mind.
It's funny.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. I know I said earlier on I felt like some wonton mee.
Now you feel like Hokkien
Now I
mee.
feel like some Hokkien mee. I haven't had Hokkien mee in a while, man.
Good Hokkien mee as well.
Good
Hokkien mee for lunch at Warren Golf and
So
Country Club.
Yes.
So when it comes to decision making, you have to go out and do your homework.
Your due diligence,
Due diligence.
yeah.
No, is this decision? And sometimes we end up getting advice from people who are not qualified to give advice.
So how do you do proper due diligence?
So if you're making a career pivot into a new role or into a new field, talk to someone from that field. Early 3 years back, there was kind of a craze for people wanting to take up a new field. They went for courses. It's called UX, UI design, user interface, user
yeah.
experience design. A lot of people went because it was the latest big thing. Everyone was signing up for it. And when everyone signed up for it, when they graduated, they went, yeah,
What
but
do we do
can
now?
I do? What do I do now? I've got a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And they didn't realize that there's no market for that. If you're a mid-manager and you want to pivot, and if you don't have the skills for it, you don't have the talent for it, it's difficult.
It's
And
kind
you're
of like
stuck
a
at the bottom.
side skill just to have, just to,
Yeah.
it's almost like bragging rights. It's not really going to build a career.
Yeah,
Something
correct.
like
or
that.
if you overlay it over your current job, then that might make sense. But not as a full 180
On its
degree
own.
pivot on its own.
Yeah.
Right,
So,
right.
so those folks did not do the due diligence. Like for myself, when I decided to pivot from headhunting into career coaching, I spoke to so many people in the field.
Prior to, okay.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Remember, guys, if you've had any questions regarding this for Adrian, you can always put them through on our Facebook page. We'll try and ask as many questions as we possibly can.
All right, stand by.
Kiss 92 traffic.
We've just got the usual delays across the expressways. No sign of anything urgent, and that's good news for you. Just stay within the speed limit, please. Make sure you have everyone buckled up. Be safe as you drive today.
All right, welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning is Adrian Choo from Career Agility International. Good morning to you, Adrian.
Good morning.
Good morning. So basically, we're talking about how to make wise career choices. The short of the long is basically if you are told that you're good at baking cakes, it doesn't mean you should go and open up a bakery, right?
Yeah, that's right.
What about getting sound advice from people who are in the industry that you want to join?
I think that's one of the best ways to get data points, information, because otherwise anything else is hearsay. If someone tells you that, hey,
I heard
this is a good place to be, even companies. Sometimes you might hear things like, a company A is really good place to be. The salary is really great. And then when you join company A, you go like, oh, shucks, no, I know why the salary is so good, because this place is terrible to work in. The workload's heavy, the culture is not great. So do your own homework so that you can come to your own decision and don't be pressured.
I think also when you do this, wouldn't one be looking at the pros and cons of a job? Because A tells me that this is a great industry to be in and it's a growing industry and blah, blah, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work for me.
you, yeah.
It works for A.
It works for him, right? Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for me, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I like to say make a list. I'm very old school. If you're making a career decision,
Pros and cons.
Pros and cons. What's in the pro and the con, and then you list it all down. And after you've listed it down, then for each item, if you weight it.
Yeah.
You weight it like 3 stars here. This is work-life balance is 3 stars for me. This is something I'm not going to compromise on. Location-wise, travel-wise, I don't mind it so much. 1 star. After a while, if you for myself, I'm a very visual person.
Yeah.
When I see everything up there and I go like, okay, I think it's kind of clear.
And you're right, because whether you put it down on paper or on your computer screen, seeing the pros versus the cons will visually allow you to see which is heavier than the other,
where
which
the
works.
scales fall, right?
Yeah. No, that's
There's
a
so
good
many
idea.
factors involved when it comes to making wise career choices. Sometimes, luck plays a part.
Timing as well.
Timing is so very important. My mom just kept on emphasizing as, I was studying and, throughout, that she would want me to work for people. She would never want me to do my own business, because my father was a businessman, struggled his entire life. And I thought my father was a great, he had a vision, but his timing was off.
Oh, dear.
Like in the 70s, I still remember when I was, very young, maybe 6 or 7 years old, my father started a coffee business because he's Malaysian.
Oh, okay.
And the factory was in Malaysia. He was the first to start coffee bags.
Commercially.
3-in-1.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was the Eskimo brand coffee
Right.
bags and everything.
Do they still
3-in-1,
exist, Eskimo? No, they don't. Right. Okay.
We went bankrupt.
That was his brand.
Wow.
In 1975, we lost $1 million.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
It took a long
and that's a
time
lot
to get
in
back.
1975.
For my dad to get back on his feet.
Wow.
It was crazy. It was a crazy time. And after that experience, my mom told me, no,
Work
always
for people.
work for someone. So my dad thought, it was gonna be
He was
a huge
he was
success.
ahead of his time.
I mean, look at the
Look at the coffee business
coffee
now.
business now.
Yeah.
That whole 3-in-1, 2-in-1.
So
I mean, he
guess-
did it first.
and no one understood it back
Yep.
then.
Nobody wanted to.
He didn't get it
to-
in
to
front of
buy
the right
that.
eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Well, yeah, timing is everything.
let's continue to talk to Adrian on The Big Show TV. It is 8:14.
Kiss 92 time check.
All right.
So what do you say about that when someone tells you, no, don't get into business on your own?
That's also a career choice,
It's
isn't
a
it?
career
It's a
choice,
career
isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
a career choice. It's we can have a whole episode on this actually. You know, I think not everyone's cut out for business.
Yeah.
To be a boss,
To
right?
be a boss, to run a business.
Yeah. And I'm not saying my mom is right, though. It's just that because of what she
The
went through,
experience.
that's her advice to me.
And she didn't
Yeah.
want to see you going
Yeah.
through what your
Yeah.
dad
Yeah, of
did.
course.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's traumatic. It's tough.
Yeah.
And you know, it's sometimes it's not your fault. So it's like for your dad, there's a saying that you must have first mover advantage. You know, the early bird gets the worm, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is, the first mouse, the second mouse gets the cheese.
Yeah.
The first mouse, he goes grabs the cheese, he gets smacked by the
And
trap.
the first mouse is all those teething problems
Yeah, correct.
are forever,
correct. And then the
right?
second guy comes along, hey, tea
Yeah.
bags, you know, and they're coffee bags, and they go like, oh wow, great
I
idea.
can ride
So-
on this, yeah.
So sometimes it's just timing, sometimes it's luck.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But for those of our listeners out there who are thinking of starting your own business, explore. Don't give it
Yeah.
up. Just give it a try. Start small scale.
And study
see
the
if it
market.
works. Study the market.
Study the market, see what people want.
Yeah, you experiment, you incubate, and
Yeah.
you trial run it, you know, on the side. Start it as a side gig.
Yeah.
And if it works, then fantastic. I think Andy, you started when you were very early in your career. Even when you were much younger, you did the DJ business. Were you involved in the mobile disco business as well?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, in the 80s, those were like the biggest things.
He was
right?
every kind of DJ.
I only did that because I don't know how to get money otherwise.
But the money was good then, right? The mobile disco business.
In
was
those
okay.
days, in those days, it was good.
But
You
you
had
had
to
to do
hustle.
a lot.
You had to hustle.
do
You
a
had to
lot.
hustle.
You had to
Yeah.
hustle.
Yeah, I remember.
So I was lucky because I started out and then we formed a company which was one of the pioneers here. So we were able to make the money we needed to make. You know, again, it was just timing.
Timing.
It was timing. You know.
And do you know how much the DJ business has evolved now?
It's
I mean,
crazy.
people bring in, as opposed to them hauling records in boxes and in suitcases
a
and
laptop.
whatnot. Now they not even a laptop, they carry a thumb drive.
Yeah.
They turn up with their own headphones, thumb drive, plug it in, that's it.
Yeah.
And then now Spotify has its own AI DJ. So it
Yeah.
takes all your music likes, puts it together, and a guy will even introduce the songs.
Yeah.
And it's all AI.
And
So that's how much it's evolved.
But I think at the end of the day, you need, in this industry, you need that human touch.
You
So
would be
DJs
surprised, though. I mean, nowadays it's just
Nobody cares
nobody
anymore. dude.
cares. People are
Seriously.
just people are raising their arms, and when the song is mixing, you're like, oh, but how is that mix happening? It's happening. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You know how much
But-
DJs are getting paid now
Oh
for
my
a
gosh,
5-hour gig?
millions of
Everyone,
dollars.
no. I'm not
No,
talking about that
no.
type. I'm
Oh,
talking
right.
about like
He's
FD
talking
type
about
of
Oh,
DJs,
right.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
your,
Not
you know,
your, yeah.
Calvin Harris
Yeah,
and
yeah.
David Guetta and all
Yeah.
that. I'm talking about our local
Oh,
DJs who are, spinning, so to
Spinning, so to
speak,
speak.
at
Yeah.
dinner and dances and all that. Some
Nothing
of them are getting like $300 for 5 hours of work.
Yeah.
But-
People don't want that anymore.
I beg to differ.
But that's because
Beg to
you
differ what?
that's because you came from that industry.
No,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I'm in the industry now and I know how important these guys are. Today,
they are
you
important.
cannot run the majority of your events, not all, the
Yeah.
majority of your events without a DJ present. You need that human touch. AI can't think.
I don't
AI
know.
cannot think on its feet yet.
I think he's talking about the events where people go on the dance floor and actually dance. No? Then what kind of events?
There's so much more a DJ does than just play that
Play
music.
music.
No, I get that. I get
There's
that.
so much more.
But I think it's
they
evolving.
They are still an integral part of it because AI hasn't learned to think like a human being yet. It may eventually reach there.
But you see, most of the events you do, your company does, right? I mean, you're dealing with people of maybe not your generation, but slightly younger. But what I'm saying is in the future,
Yeah.
when it comes to
Eventually, I
people
think
like
they may-
Shalini and Cheyenne and all that,
They don't
if
wanna
they are
deal
going
with
to
people.
engage a
Yeah.
company and all that, you guys will be gone.
I
Yeah.
would say it would take at least another 15 years.
Really, they'll just do their own.
But you know why?
Just
also,
patch it through, do their own announcements, say
Because-
hi to their friends and family.
because the way the world is moving in terms of communication, like you mentioned about how communication has lessened in
Yeah.
terms of speech and more on text,
Yeah.
right? People are not going to want to communicate to the DJ, I want this song. They're
Yeah.
going to go there and say, no, we'll program this and we'll
Correct.
play all the music that you like.
Everyone
That's it.
can be a
No,
DJ.
yeah,
now.
exactly. I mean, you can mix on your phone now.
Yeah.
No, you can.
You know what I mean?
You can.
So, but the future is bleak.
It's
The clock is ticking.
It's a
Yeah, the
long
clock
way
is
off.
ticking.
It's still a long way off.
The clock is ticking.
And talking about clock and timing, getting into a business, sometimes, as you said, is timing.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need to know when to get out of business as well.
Yeah.
Because if you're at the tail end of it
Yeah.
and you see the market's declining, and maybe I should just punch out before things go bad or before the market just disappears altogether.
and hopefully
Yeah.
when you're on a high, right?
But when you're high, yeah.
Or
then-
just be open to changing.
yeah.
You don't have to get out the
Evolving.
market. You need
Yeah.
to
You need to
you
evolve.
need to evolve. Exactly.
Yeah, you need
Yeah.
to evolve. Yeah. Yeah.
So starting a business not for everybody, and if any of our listeners out there are thinking of starting a business, think twice, think thrice. And my advice for them is always go watch Shark Tank, the American version of Shark
Oh,
Tank.
yeah, I love it.
Oh, that's very good business advice for
Yeah.
Mark Cuban and the gang. Yeah,
Very good,
really
very
good.
You know, when we look at these career choices that we make, how far ahead should we be looking?
I always say think about 2 or 3 steps down. Don't just think about the next job. Don't just think about the money involved. But to be fair, when you look back at your own career and you go like, oh shucks, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, I should have done this. Hindsight is 2020. So it's right now you have all the information and you look back and you say, I shouldn't have quit this job. I shouldn't have taken that other role. So don't be too hard on yourself when you're looking back at your own career history. Because you made the best decision based on the limited information you had then.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't see it as a mistake. See it as a lesson, right?
That's a lesson, yeah. And it's the same for investments. I look back and I go, oh shucks, I lost so much money on this or on that. And then you look back and you go like, but it was the best decision then at the point
Yeah,
in time.
yeah.
Right now when I look back, it's like Bitcoin. It's like, shucks, I should have bought
I should have,
Bitcoin. when it was like
Could have, would have, should have.
$50,
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
no
Some
way,
people
but-
are really reaping those rewards.
Yeah, some people are.
Yeah. So likewise in careers, we don't really have the full information. But that's why I say we need to get as much information before we make a decision.
Okay. Gather information.
Do your homework.
Do your homework.
Yeah.
Due
I think
diligence.
Yeah, I think it's very, very important.
But I think people also need to learn how to do due diligence. You know what I mean? Like, how do they investigate their next their next career, their next employer, the next company, the next industry?
What
Some
are the
people
questions I ask?
Some people don't understand where to start.
Yeah, and I always say start by talking to people. Reach out, network. You'd be surprised how useful LinkedIn is, You just go on LinkedIn and you look at some individuals there. If you think this guy's profile is interesting, just leave a note. Can I get some advice from you regarding this industry or
Are
regarding...
people open to that?
You'll be surprised. They are. You'll be surprised they are. Provided your LinkedIn profile is legit looking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If it looks
yeah.
really fishy,
Yeah.
from and then you say, oh, this one is just too fishy. I'm
So
not
the
into it.
start is build your LinkedIn profile.
Build your LinkedIn profile, build your network. Sometimes the thing is, some of our clients say, but my network isn't that big. It doesn't need to be your network. It could be your network's network. Just ask someone in the business, hey, do you know someone who with this I can get advice from? So tap in. Even your spouse's network or your partner's network is also your network. Say, hey, do you know someone in that business or industry? Let me find out more about the baking industry.
A friend of a friend of a friend.
A friend of a
Yeah.
friend of a friend. So that's why the information is out there. You just need to go out and get it and decide and make a decision based on as much info as you can. Good intel, not just hearsay or rumors.
Good
Okay.
idea. Good idea.
All right.
Yeah.
Wise career choices.
What was your best career decision then?
Me?
Yeah.
Moving from Cymex to radio. So I had no idea Cymex was gonna close down.
Oh.
Yeah, and just after I made that decision and I joined Singapore Broadcasting Corporation, Cymex
So you
went
had no
Bluebacks.
prior experience in DJing at all before you joined SPC?
I had experience in a karaoke bar.
Microphone to table number 3.
Correct. Absolutely. And I used to sing with people as well. I used to like that. Okay, here we
You
go.
still do.
Kiss 92 traffic.
Yeah, the expressways are pretty much blocked up. Usual delays across there. The KPE towards the TPE, a vehicle broken down at the PIE exit. Look out for that. Please stay within the speed limit. Have everyone buckled up. Be safe as you drive today.
Good morning and welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning is from Korea Agility International, Mr. Adrian Choo. Good morning once again, Adrian.
Good morning, and today we're talking about choices because tomorrow we're going to make a choice. But in our careers, we are faced with difficult choices.
We are. And you were just asking Glenn what his best decision was. What about your worst decision?
No.
No, none.
I have-
Oh, wonderful.
You know, this is only my second job.
In terms of industries.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So it's the
also
financial
job as
industry,
well,
and
yeah.
then boom, I just
Media.
jumped into what do you call radio?
Mm.
Yeah. But when I first got out of the army, I spent about 6 months working in a karaoke bar.
Oh, you really did.
in Bugis.
What role is it?
I was a karaoke DJ.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, what you would change the discs when
Yeah,
people
those
make
Pioneer
right,
laser
right, right.
discs.
Oh, wow, laser discs.
And sing with people
So the-
and introduce the Filipino band.
Oh, right. The request would come in, and then you'd have to put the disc on.
Yes, yes.
So it's like an open mic
And
night
while
where everybody could hear.
while the Filipino band was playing, I would control the lighting as well. Yeah, did that for
Brilliant.
6 months.
Next time when I need a lighting guy, I can ask you then.
No, I can't remember anything. Yeah,
Oh, that's
but it
funny.
was
So
it
what
was fun.
made you quit the job?
No, then that was only temporary. I wanted to use that as a stepping stone because I'd always been interested in emceeing and being a radio presenter. I'd already gotten training like before I went into the army to be a radio presenter.
Oh, you had,
Yeah,
right.
so
Okay.
after the army, I just thought, okay, let's get some stage experience, some live experience, as well. So I did like 6 months of that, and then after that, for the rest of the way, I was working at the Singapore International Monetary Exchange, which I
Simex.
wish I had talked to Mr. Kok Song a little bit more
Yes,
about
it would have been
because
interesting.
he was involved in Simex back
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
day. I
back
think. I think I heard him talking about that.
Yeah.
But I didn't quite. Although I was making quite a good
Good
amount of
money,
money
yeah.
in Cymex, I just felt like no, it wasn't my thing.
Wasn't you?
Yeah. So the moment I had the chance to jump into radio, I took it, and next January it'll be my 30th year.
Oh,
Did you
wow.
see that jump as a gamble?
No, I took a huge pay cut. I took a 40% pay cut. Oh. Yeah.
But he was working his passion, and
He's
look where
working
he's
his
at
passion.
now.
Okay, 40% pay cut plus a lot more work, right?
Yes.
Because the late nights and the late
Correct.
hours.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you were having fun.
I enjoy it. I was
Still.
enjoying myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Angel, how about yourself? What's your best career decision?
I think it was. I was already sort of in the public eye, sort of modeling, TV hosting, and stuff like that. But when someone came up to me and said I should explore live hosting, as in on stage, which I had never done before.
Okay.
And then I'm like, why? Why should I do that? He's like, because it's a lot of money. And so that was my eyes were like, oh,
Ka-ching,
ka-ching. And I'm
ka-ching.
like, okay, let's try it. And the first time I went up on stage, I had to take maybe about 3 bottles of special herbal stuff that my friend had put together, essential oils, to calm my nerves.
Oh wow!
Oh.
It was for Animal Planet, I remember, for children. Like somewhere in like Jurong Point or something. Like I was so nervous. I could barely go up on stage. I was like shaking. But I don't know if it was a placebo, but I managed to get on stage and
What a
you know,
waste I
and just-
wasn't around at that time. I would have given you a hug. Or something.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you would have.
there you go.
Yeah. but I think that was the best decision. And this September would have been 30 years since my newspaper Face of the Year.
Oh,
30 years. So I'm celebrating
Also
30
lucky I
years.
didn't meet you during the
Correct,
newspaper
yes.
face of the year.
Yeah.
If not, I would have tackled her.
Yes. I already told him he's not my type anyway. Yeah.
She says that now.
You have the standee still, right? Someone gave you, right?
That's
Gave you
the
a stand-
That's
Kodak.
Kodak.
That's Kodak. That's not new paper.
No, someone gave you the. No,
Yeah, that was the Kodak.
one.
That was the
Okay.
Kodak.
That's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah.
That standee is incredible.
I still have that. Yeah, and we
that's quite
collected it
incredible.
here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I remember
that's
somebody
right.
delivered it here.
That's quite something.
Yeah.
You want a standee, FD?
No, it's okay. No, it's okay.
Anyway,
What?
we're speaking
That's just
to
weird.
Yeah.
Adrian Choo from Korea Agility International. All right, up next, Addison Rae featuring Charlie XCX. This is To Die For on Kiss 92.
And FD,
What's
your turn.
yours? Yeah.
Man, I have done so much in my life, and the best decision I ever made was deciding that 9 to 5 was not me.
Oh yeah, I decided that as well. Same. Yeah.
Once I said 9 to 5 was not me, that my entire life changed. I had purpose. I everything in my life just lightened.
Yeah.
You know, because I hated that. I hated that idea of having to sit behind a desk, and even before that, going door to door,
Selling what?
in industrial buildings,
Oh wow.
selling
Encyclopedias.
no initial products.
What are initial products?
Your hair dryers, your soap your hand dryers, your soap
Oh,
dispensers.
Oh,
Yeah, your rolling paper. You know the cloth
it's
towels.
a brand.
Door
Is
to
it
door.
initial?
It's a
Right.
brand.
It's a
Door
brand.
to
right.
door.
Door to door in
Did you have to
industrial
carry all that
buildings.
stuff?
Oh no, you just carried huge
The brochures.
brochures.
Files. Right. Okay.
I hated that, man.
Yeah,
I so
cold
hated
calling.
Cold calling.
Yeah,
I
I'm not.
hated
I'm not made for cold calling
it. Cannot.
either. Yeah.
I cannot do that. It was terrible. So when I decided 9 to 5, forget it. That was it. My life just changed. It was brilliant.
Actually, I think radio kind of like sealed it for FD.
Yeah.
Because as a mobile DJ, I think that would have been at some point an expiry date.
Yes, there is.
Okay, but I think you were very fortunate that you also started your event
Yeah.
company as well.
Yeah.
But still, I feel like you are who you are now
Because of
you're
radio.
still
Because
on
of radio,
radio.
It's
Yeah.
because of radio. Because and it's
And
funny.
I meet all of FD's friends, you know, who I think the same thing. They're all in the industry or have retired,
Yeah.
but I think when they think of FD, they go like, "Wow, this guy is very fortunate."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason why he has this staying power
The
right now,
the longevity, right?
the
Is
longevity
radio.
is because of radio. Because
It is
without
because-
radio, I mean, I don't
If
even
you had
think you can
continued
say
doing-
what you'd be
Yeah.
doing right now.
There are very few. I mean, I can count them on one hand of DJs, not even close to my age, in their 40s, maybe late 40s, who are still performing. You can count them on one
Performing
hand.
at events.
At events, in
Yeah.
clubs, guest appearances. You count them on your hand. In Europe, it's a totally different story. In Europe, I can do massive concerts, and I'm a DJ. I'm 55 years old, 60 years old.
Oh,
I can do it.
wow.
But in Asia, you can't.
No. Yeah.
You can't do it in Asia.
We could even market you in Europe. Get a whole new wardrobe and like get you some new hats and make some money off you.
A few more gunny
Right,
hats.
yeah.
Gunny sack hats.
Like the Flying Dutchman on tour. How about that?
Who do you think he is? Ricky Martin? or-
Put you in a pair of shorts.
Yeah.
How about that?
But you know, it's funny how you said we've got to think about this, we've got to prepare, we've got to do homework, we've got to do the pros and cons and everything. This is where I'm super lucky. I've made every decision with my heart, not my head.
Oh, you did hard.
I have never made a decision with my head. All my decisions have been emotional, and I have been very, very lucky.
That you got it right, yeah.
Very, very lucky.
Wow.
Because not a lot of decisions made emotionally
Work.
turn out well.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. So I've been very, very lucky.
So in his case, one of the rare times where the advice for following your passion really worked.
Worked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you were lucky in the sense that it all aligned. The
Timing was
all-
right.
Yeah, everything was right. So
Yeah.
so I think that's where it's great if you follow your interest and what you're good at and what you're passionate about. And if you use your heart, but a lot of times we always advise is don't just be 100% heart.
Yeah, of course.
Because for yourself, it was also a lot of these moves were business decisions as well. If you think about it, right?
It doesn't. It probably didn't feel like it at that time.
At that time.
But then when you look
You know
back,
why
you're
not
like,
this
yeah.
guy? He says he uses his heart. I believe him. But who uses her head? His wife.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Behind every
Luckily,
strong
I'm
man,
giving
yeah.
Michelle
Absolutely.
some credit. Nicely taking all the credit.
Damn it, I'm going to be in trouble when I get home.
Correct.
You're sleeping on the couch, and it's a long weekend as well.
I know.
Oh dear. Oh,
Trying to be a hero there.
Coming up.
If I can't get close to you, I'll settle for the ghost of you. I miss you more than life. And if you can't be next to me, your memory is ecstasy. I miss you more than life. I miss you more than life.
JB, not Johor Bahru, but Justin Bieber with Ghost right here on Kiss 92. All the great songs in one place. Speaking of Johor Bahru, isn't it Malaysia's National Day today?
It
Yes, it
is
is.
Merdeka to our Malaysian listeners.
To all our Malaysian listeners,
And
a very
viewers,
happy
yes,
National Day
yes.
to you. Because we do have quite a number of, our listeners
Absolutely.
who are listening in from
Malaysia.
From mostly JB, I think.
Yeah,
Yes,
my hairdresser makes her way in every day, and she tunes in to us
Oh,
every day.
wow.
What's her name?
Anne.
Good
Morning,
morning.
Anne.
Good morning, Anne. Yeah.
Okay, we're with Adrian Choo from Career Agility International. Once again, good morning, Adrian. We're talking about making wise career choices today.
Yeah, a lot of times we are at inflection points in our career when we're not so sure whether it's gonna move up or move down. It's like the movie Sliding Doors. Remember the one where what's her
Gwyneth
name?
Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow, yeah. So the whole story about Sliding Doors is whether she gets on the train and then her life will follow one pathway.
Right.
If she doesn't get on that train, it follows another pathway. So the whole movie bifurcates into two stories.
Right. Okay. No, I
Yeah.
have not seen that
It's
actually.
a nice one.
Okay.
It's a nice one.
All right. Okay.
Nice. It's a very nice soundtrack as well by Aqua.
Aqua.
If I could turn back time. If
That's
I
where
could
the
turn
song's
back-
from.
Oh,
Right.
right,
Okay.
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 So a lot of times you might be at a sliding door moment where you got to decide two things. Don't get too stressed out. See things. Get as much information as you can. Talk to as many people as you can, and don't get pressured. And I think one of the things for myself when I make a decision like that, a major decision, is I ask myself, will the 60-year-old Adrian say great job, good decision, or man, that was a stupid thing to do? It's like my decision to quit my corporate job and go in to start the business. It was not so much about I want to make $1 million. It was more like, will the 70-year-old Adrian look back and go, you missed that chance to try out, and even if you failed, you didn't know what could have been.
So
if
is
you
that what
tried.
you always do? What will your future self say?
Yeah, what will my future self say? And I may not get all the best answers.
Yeah.
But some things are really, really clear. It's like if I see something really expensive and stupid, I want to buy. And like I'm looking at a bike and I said, wow, this is really expensive bicycle, road bike. Then I think to myself, oh, wait a minute. Will the 5 years from now I look back, why do you spend so much money on a stupid bike?
White elephant.
Yeah. So a lot of times I project myself into the future.
Yeah.
Look back and say,
I like that.
Yeah. Okay. That was a great investment in whatever you did. So.
I like that.
Before we let you go, Adrian, what would you like to say to the person who's listening to us right now and who's about to jump ship?
Oh wow. Okay. Don't
Well,
be
jump
emotional.
ship, you mean make a career choice, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't be emotional. Take a deep breath. And if you have any problems, reach out to us. info@careeragility.org. Always happy to give advice.
There
Nice.
you go.
Nice.
All right, Adrian, thank you so much for joining us today, as always.
One more sleep to the weekend. Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Oh no. It's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow, so
No more
weekend.
sleeps.
all of you
Moses.
get a day off tomorrow, but
We're
we will be
working.
working because it's a big day for us tomorrow.
It is a big day, yes. We'll give you all the
Lots of
updates.
news updates and
Yeah.
lots of instructions as well, because many, I think, will be making their way to the polling centers, and we'll be on hand to guide you guys.
Yes, absolutely. We'll be here.
Thank you, Adrian, once again. Up next, Zara Larson, and this is Never Forget You on Kiss 92.
I used to be so happy, but without you here, I feel so